Good evening, everybody. It's another game in the 1986 American League East plus Texas little mini league got going. Still in the mood for Strat. Been playing some inside pitch, obviously playing History Maker Baseball and payoff pitch. So try to mix things up a little bit, get a different flavor every day, so to speak. Today it is the Strat Advanced level with ballpark effects. And it's the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Boston Red Sox here at Fenway. And the ballpark effects for Fenway, singles are 0 for lefties, righties get 1 to 17, home runs 1 to 7 for lefties, 1 to 11 for right-handers. So we're just about ready to go. Bruce Hurst is on the mound finishing his warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing switch-hitting shortstop Tony Fernandez for the Blue Jays to start off the ball game. And again, this is advanced only, not super advanced, although we will be using the ballpark effects. So the first roll of the ball game, it's a 1-10. So Fernandez facing the lefty Hurst. 1-10 is a single to center field for Tony Fernandez. So Tony Fernandez, a leadoff single. That'll bring up Garth Orge, third baseman. He's playing instead of Rance Mullenix because they're using the right-handed lineup against the lefty Hurst. It's a 2-9, and a 2-9 for Orge against the lefty is a ground ball third base A, and that unfortunately for Toronto is a 5-4-3 double play. Quickly 2 outs. Hey Tribe fan, how you doing? Sorry to hear about Oscar Gamble. That was a sad news to come on today. Former Indian. Here's George Bell, George Taco Bell, the way Chris Berman called him. It's a 5-7, and that's against Hurst, against the right-handed batter. 5-7 is a ground ball, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. Shortstop is Ed Romero. He is a 3. So Romero, oops, kind of bumped it there. It's a 13. So we'll check the advanced chart for shortstops. 3 and a 13 is a ground ball C, so he did make the play. He does make the play. And that's going to end the inning. Nothing doing for Toronto in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Toronto nothing, Boston coming to bat. And for the Blue Jays, it is Dave Stieb on the hill. He'll be facing Marty Barrett, second baseman. Oops, I keep hitting the phone. There we go. It is a 3-6 for Marty Barrett against a right-hander. 3-6 is a fly to center, and that's one away. Brings up Wade Boggs. In fact, I may roll left-handed just to make it a little easier, I think. All right, 6-12. Wow. 6-12. 6-12 for Stieb against the lefty Boggs as a ground ball first base C, so handled over there easily by Willie Upshaw. 2 down for Bill Buckner. Ooh, that one went way over here. 4-4. Buckner, Stieb against the lefty is a fly ball center field X. That's Lloyd Mosby. And Mosby is a 2. D20 is a 6. 6, so we check center field. Center field, a 2 and a 6 is a fly ball B. He makes the play, no problem. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for either side here in the first. We go to the second, no score. Bruce Hurst back on the bump, facing Jesse Barfield. Yep, he did have that big fro. That was his trademark, especially with the Yankees. He really got it going in '76 with the Yankees. 6-8 for Hurst against Barfield. 6-8. He is going to be a strikeout against a right-handed batter, so Barfield down on strikes. Brings up Willie Upshaw, lefty on lefty. That's a 6-7. So Hurst against the lefty is another strikeout. So back-to-back Ks. Brings up the DH, Cliff Johnson. Cliff Johnson, a 6-9. 6-9 is a ground ball to second, handled by Barrett. Innings over. We go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Jim Rice to start things off against Dave Stieb. Jim Rice, the left fielder, followed by Baylor, the DH. 5-8. 5-8 against Stieb is a strikeout. So both pitchers got the strikeout thing rolling today. Here's Don Baylor, the DH. 5-2. That's a ground ball back to Stieb. Easy play. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Tony Armas, the center fielder. As I drop one of my... Actually dropped the white die. Here we go. It is a 2-3. 2-3 for Armas against Stieb. And that's a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. Nothing doing either way, so after 2 complete, we've got no score. Brings up Bruce Hurst back on the bump to face Lloyd Mosby. 1-6 for Mosby, the lefty against the lefty. 1-6 is a ground ball to first. So that's 1 away. Brings up Damaso Garcia, or Damaso Garcia, however you want to call him. 5-11 for Hurst against a righty. That is a ballpark single. There's that upside down triangle. And in Fenway, a single for righties is 1-17. So good chance. Hey, Chris, how you doing? 19. It's a 1-17 ballpark check, and it's a 19. Go figure. Bad luck there for Garcia. He lines to short for out number 2. Brings up current Toronto Blue Jay broadcaster Buck Martinez. That is a 3-5 for Martinez against Hurst, against a left-hander. 3-5 is a line out to short, and that's going to do it for the Blue Jays. So Bruce Hurst, after that leadoff single to start the game, is retired 8 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Dave Stieb on the bump, facing Dwight Evans. That's a 3-7 against the right-hander Stieb, and a 3-7 is going to be a walk. So it is a leadoff walk. Got to bring up Rich Gedman, catcher. 6-7. Stieb against the lefty. 6-7. A 1-14 is a single. 15-20. He lines to second. That's a 15. He lines it right to Garcia for out number 1. So the D20 has not been kind. Here is Ed Romero, the shortstop. No relation to Caesar. 5-10. Romero's a righty. 5-10 against Stieb is a catcher X. Catcher is Buck Martinez. He's a 3. Oops, and that's a 14. That went out of focus there, but he's a 14. So we check the catcher. A 3 and a 14 on the advanced is a pop-up. So easy pop-up handled by Buck Martinez. 2 down. Back to the top of the order for Marty Barrett. 4-11, and Steve 4-11 is a fly ball left field X. That's going to be George Bell. He's a 2, and that's an 8. So for a left fielder, a 2 and an 8 is a error check. So error check, and Bell is a E11. That's a 10. So a 10 on the E11 is a good play, fly ball B. So he made it. So George Bell tires Barrett, and after 3 innings at Fenway, the wind must be blowing in or something. It's 0-0. We start the 4th, and it's the top of the order, Tony Fernandez, switch hitting shortstop, batting right against Hurst. So 1-9, 1-9 against the lefty. 1-9 is a single for Tony Fernandez. So Fernandez is 2 for 2, but he got caught up in a double play first time up when Garth Orge grounded into the 5-4-3. Orge going to try to avoid that right now. 5-7. 5-7 is a ground ball shortstop X, so we could get another double play. You never know. Romero is a 3, and that's an 18. That very well could be a double play. Shortstop 3 and an 18 is a ground ball A. So once again, another double play hit into by Garth Clockwork Orge. He went 5-4-3 the first time, 6-4-3 this time. So Orge not having a good day. 1-9 for George Bell against Hurst. Against the lefty Hurst, 1-9 is a ground ball to short, and the inning is over. Hey Chris, I saw the basketball on your channel. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see you post it, so I have Strat basketball, just never got into it, and I'm really not into the NBA. I'm more into college. So if they ever came up with a college game for basketball, I'd be a lot more interested in it. But I'm going to check it out because, like I said, I do own the game. So I played it briefly and then just kind of got away from it because I'm mainly a baseball guy. But I might get back to it someday. You never know. All right, so leading things off now for Boston in the bottom of the fourth is Wade Boggs against Stieb. It's 3-6 for Boggs. So Boggs on the 3-6 against a righty, he will draw a leadoff walk. So Wade Boggs, leadoff walk. Brings up Buckner, Bill Buckner. 1-8. 1-8 versus Stieb. 1-8 for Buckner is a home run chance, 1-10. 11-20 will be a double. So Billy Buck, 1-10 is a dinger. And it is a 1. So Bill Buckner just crushed a 2-run shot off of Dave Stieb, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0. Bill Buckner with a 2-run bomb. Here's Jim Rice, speaking of home runs. 2-8. 2-8 against Stieb, the righty. Is a single to right field, so Stieb all of a sudden running into issues here in the fourth. Brings up the DH Don Baylor. 5-11 against Stieb, and that's as Espo Strat would call it, a diamond shot, and it's a 1-11 in Fenway. So Don Baylor could go deep on a 1-11. It's a 12. He just missed it. It's a fly to left, right up against the Green Monster for out number 1. Caught out there by George Bell. I'll bring up Tony Armas. 5-3 for Armas. Right-hander is a fly ball right field X. That's Jesse Barfield. He's a 1. And that's a 12, which I think is an error check. Which it is. So, error check on Barfield. He is an E11. And that's a 7. So an E11 and a 7 is a two-base error. Two-base error on Jesse Barfield. So how do you like that? A two-base error, E9. And Rice, who was on first, will now go to third. So runners are at second and third with only 1 out for Dewey Evans. And the infield's going to probably have to come in. They want to choke that run off. Stieb really needs a strikeout. 6-7. It's ground ball second base X. That's Garcia, and he is a 2. That's a 7. So a 2 and a 7 is a ground ball B. So ground ball B says if no runners are forced, they have to hold. So runners stay put. 2 outs, 2-1 for Rich Gedman. Night, Chris. Have a good one. I'm almost at bedtime myself. I'm trying to get this game in real quick. 1-7. Gedman against Stieb, the righty. Is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So Stieb comes back after giving up the 2-run homer. But after 4 complete, it's the Red Sox 2 and the Blue Jays nothing. Bruce Hurst back out on the bump, facing Jesse Barfield, trying to make up for that 2-base error. It's a 5-5, and he might do it. That's a 1-4 triple. 5-20 is a single. Oops, it's a 10. Rolled out of camera there. 10, that's a single for Jesse Barfield. So Barfield singles. Brings up Willie Upshaw. Lefty on lefty. It's a 5-8. That's a strikeout. So Upshaw down on strikes for the second time. Brings up Cliff Johnson, the big guy, DH. 2-8. 2-8 against a lefty. Where Cliff Johnson is a ground ball third base A. That's the third double play in 4 innings. Turned by the Red Sox. So 5-4-3, and Toronto can't get anything going because of these double plays. So we go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 2-0 Red Sox. And that'll bring up Ed Romero, number 9 hitter, to face Dave Stieb. 1-9 for Romero against the righty Stieb. 1-9 is a ground ball to short. That's one away. Brings up the top of the order in Marty Barrett. Barrett is a 4-8 against a righty for Stieb. It's a single. So Marty Barrett gets his first hit of the night. 1-out single for Wade Boggs. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Combat Painter? 6-6 Stieb against Boggs. 6-6 against a lefty. And look at this. 1-6 is a triple. 7-20 is a double. It's a 5. It's a triple for Wade Boggs. That will score Marty Barrett. Boggs did have 2 triples on the season. Scores Marty Barrett, and the Red Sox take a 3-0 lead. Now I'll bring up Bill Buckner. He homered his last time up. 4-4 off of Stieb is a fly ball center field X. That's Lloyd Mosby. Mosby's a 2. That's a 4. So you check center field. Oops. Center field, a 2 and a 4 is a fly ball B, so that is a sacrifice fly. So that will get the run home. Makes it a 4-0 ball game as Boggs scores. Buckner credited with another RBI. He's got 3 of the 4 RBIs. And bases cleared, 2 outs for Jim Rice. 5-10 against Stieb is a catcher X. That's Buck Martinez. He's a 3. And that's a 19, so I believe that's a good play. 3-19 is a pass ball, foul out. Nobody's on base, so it's simply a foul out. And the inning's over, but after 5 complete, Boston leads at 4-0. So they've given Bruce Hurst plenty of run support as he will now start the top of the 6th. And Lloyd Mosby, lefty on lefty. 5-10. 5-10 is a diamond shot. Right there, diamond shot. So for Fenway Park, a lefty, it's a 1-7 for a home run. It's a 4, so Lloyd Mosby cracks one. Opposite field. Actually pulled it, went to right field, so not that it matters. But the Blue Jays are on the board. That's the lead to 4-1 rather. Here's Damaso Garcia. 5-2 is a ground ball back to Hurst, and that's one away. That'll bring up Buck Martinez, catcher. Line to short his first time. 1-5 against the lefty. 1-5 against the lefty is a pop out to second, and that's out number 2. And it'll bring up Tony Fernandez, shortstop. 2 outs, base is empty. Switch hitter, batting right, 4-7. 4-7 is a ground ball, second base X. Marty Barrett is over there. Barrett is a 2, and that's a 2. A 2 and a 2. A 2 and a 2 is going to be a single. Single for Tony Fernandez. He is 3 for 3, all singles. And that'll bring up Garth Orge. He's grounded into 2 double plays. Can't do it now because there's 2 outs. 3-8 against the lefty Bruce. 3-8 is a potential single. 1-8. 9-20 he will line to short. It's a 17. He lines to short. Inning's over. So Bruce Hurst finally gives up a run on the home run by Mosby. Go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-1. And Dave Stieb back out there again. And the 6th inning is the point of weakness inning for both pitchers, really. So Hurst is 1 out or 1 batter away from being weak at his point of weakness. Stieb will begin it right now. Bullpen's loosening for the Blue Jays. Here's Don Baylor. 1-6 for Baylor against the righty. 1-6 as a ground ball to short. And that's 1 away. But John Cerruti, the lefty, is loosening in the Blue Jay bullpen. Here's Tony Armas. 2-7. 2-7 for Armas against Stieb is a 1-19 single. Only thing that will stop it is a 20. So 95% chance you get a single, and he does. It's a 19. He barely got it. So he's going to be fortunate to make that happen with that 1-out single. Brings up Dewey Evans, Dewey Evans is 6-7 against Stieb, and that's a ground ball second base X. That is going to be Garcia. He's a 2. and that's a 20, so that's almost guaranteed to be a ground ball double play, and it is ground ball A. So it's a 4-6-3 to end the 6th. So we played 6 complete here in Fenway, and it's Boston 4 and Toronto 1. And Hurst has 1 left on his point of weakness before he reaches it. So the Red Sox have their bullpen going. And they're going to look to who are they going to go to here? Steve Crawford is loosening in the bullpen. So if anything happens to Hurst, they'll be looking for Steve Crawford, the righty, to come in. Right now, though, Hurst is going to face George Taco Bell. That's a 5-8 off of Hurst, and that's a strikeout against a righty, so still has some juice left. That's 1 away. Here's Jesse Barfield. 3-6 for Barfield against the lefty Hurst. 3-6 is a walk, so he has now officially reached his point of weakness. Anything further on a dot will turn into an out, but they're going to let him go one more batter because they've got a lefty up there, Willie Upshaw. So Hurst will face Upshaw. It's a 3-9 for Upshaw against a lefty. 3-9 is another walk, so that's going to do it for Hurst. They're going to go ahead and make the move. John McNamara is going to do it. He's going to pull Hurst here in the top of the 7th, and Crawford is coming in. Hurst is responsible for the 2 runners on base. He can win the game, he cannot lose the game. So Crawford will be in to face Cliff Johnson. Righty on righty matchup. 2 on, 1 out. 1-8 for Cliff Johnson. 1-8 is another walk. That's going to load the bases. So 3 consecutive walks have loaded the bases. And now that brings up Lloyd Mosby. He's the one who homered last time. He's got a chance to do damage with runners on. 5-4 against Crawford, a lefty. And a 5-4 is a singles check on the ballpark. But Fenway has a 0 rating, so that's an automatic out. It's a liner to second. 1 away, or actually 2 away. That was the second out. So it's up to Damaso Garcia to cash in. 6-6 is a strikeout. Crawford got him. So Steve Crawford pitches out of a big-time jam and keeps the Blue Jays off the scoreboard in the 7th. We go to the 7th inning stretch, bottom of the 7th. Steve back out, but I believe the bullpen, actually they're going to go to the bullpen. They're not going to let Steve go. They're going to go ahead and take Steve out and bring in John Cerruti, the lefty. So Cerruti is in, and he will face the lefty Gedman to start the bottom of the 7th. That is a 5-6 against the lefty. That is a strikeout. So Cerruti puts the strikeout on Gedman. 1 away for Ed Romero. 5-10 against the righty Romero is a fly ball center field X. That's Mosby. Mosby's a 2. Oops, I'm just re-roll that so you can see it on the camera. I still can't see it on the camera. Let me get this straight here. 2 and a 14, so I believe that's a good play. It might be an error check. Let's see. 2 and a 14. Nope, that's a good play. Fly ball C. So he makes the play. 2 down. And that's going to bring up the top of the order and Marty Barrett. Barrett a 3-5 against the lefty Cerruti. So 3-5 against the lefty is another walk. There's a lot of walks here lately, but it's a 2-out walk. Brings up Wade Boggs. Lefty on lefty matchup against Cerruti. That's a 6-8 against Cerruti against the lefty Boggs. 6-8. Split chance. 1-3 is a double. 4-20 is a single. They're both 2 stars, so the run will not score. Let's roll it so you can see it. That's a 17. So that is a single. Now I lost track. It was a 6-6, so it was a single with 2 stars for Boggs. He is singled and tripled. Barrett will go to third because of the 2 stars. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Bill Buckner, who's already homered in this game and had a sac fly, so he had 3 of the 4 RBIs. Billy Buck, 6-7. 6-7 for Billy Buck is a ground ball to shortstop X. That's Tony Fernandez. He's a 1, and that's a 5. 1 and a 5, so I believe it's a good play. Verify it. 1 and a 5 is a ground ball A, and the inning is over. So we go to the 8th inning. Score still 4-1, and Buck Martinez steps to the plate. Although they might pinch hit now that the lefty's out of the game, they might start using some of the lefty pinch hitters. So let's see here. Buck Martinez will be called back, and he will be pinch hit for by Ernie Witt. So Ernie Witt, catcher to bat against the lefties, or against the righties, I should say. So Ernie Witt is going to hit for Martinez and then stay into catch. And Witt is a 3, just like Martinez was. And an E3. 3 and -1 in the E3. All right. Don't know why I rolled a D20. Didn't need it. 6-5. Witt against Crawford is a lefty. It's a ground ball to the pitcher, and that's 1 away. So he fails in his pinch hitting opportunity. Back to the top of the order for Tony Fernandez. That's a 3-9 for Fernandez against the righty. 3-9 against the righty is a ground ball to second, and that's going to be out number 2. First time he's been retired. It was 3 for 3 against Hurst, but had to turn him around and make him bat left-handed. He produced the out. Now Garth Orge is scheduled to bat for Toronto because he faces lefties. But with the pitching change, they're going to take him out and bring in Rance Mullenix. So Rance Mullenix will come in and pinch hit for Orge and stay in the game to play third base in the bottom of the 8th. So Mullenix going to give his go at it. Mullenix. 2-7 for Mullenix against the righty. 2-7 is a strikeout. So Mullenix fails in his pinch hitting opportunities. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 4-1. And for the Blue Jays, Cerruti will be coming out because there's some righties coming up for Boston, so they want a righty in the ball game. Sorry. So they're going to go to Mark Foghorn Eichhorn, sidewinding righty. He's coming in to pitch in the bottom of the 8th, and he will be facing Rice, Baylor, and Armas, 3 righties. It is a 6-5 against Eichhorn, and that's a strikeout. So 1 away. Brings up Don Baylor, Mr. Hit by Pitch. That's a 1-6 for Baylor against a right-hander. 1-6 is a ground ball to short. 2 down. Brings up Tony Armas, center fielder. Armas a 5-11, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2 with an E0, so as long as it's not a range play, he'll be okay. 17, which I think on a pitcher is still a, it's an error check, it's not a range play. He's an E0, so he made the play. And Eichhorn pitches a solid 8th with nothing happening. So we go to the top of the 9th, and that means it's Calvin Schiraldi time for the Red Sox. Calvin Schiraldi. He'll be in to try to close it down for the Sox and protect this 3-run lead. He's going to be facing the heart of the order, Bell, Barfield, and Upshaw. So Schiraldi trying to get the save to start the season for him. It's a 4-7 against a right-hander. 4-7 is a strikeout, so he's off to a good start. 1 away, it's Jesse Barfield. Jesse Barfield. It's a 6-9, and a 6-9 is a strikeout. I don't think the 4 showed up. Did that show up okay? No, it didn't show up okay. 6-9, it's a strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts, and it's down to Willie Upshaw. Upshaw, 5-8, is a strikeout. So Schiraldi strikes out the side, and that's going to do it as the Red Sox get the victory by the score of 4-1. Winning pitcher was Bruce Hurst. The loser was Dave Stieb, and the save is recorded by Calvin Schiraldi. So that's going to do it from Fenway Park. Hope everybody had a good time watching that. And for those of you who are not used to these kind of cards in Strat, the newer cards are all blue and pink, but the older cards were originally done in the blue and white, and I think they look kind of sharp myself. I think they show up very well. Some of them are a little bit off-centered, like a couple of these in the back are off-centered, but the one in front, they're very, very clear. They're very high quality cards, in really good shape. I got them used. So from Moonlight Graham. So figured I better make use of them since I invested in these cards. So hey, Strat Baseball, how you doing? Alex Smith, yeah. Didn't understand that move. Living in Virginia, of course, we get a lot of Redskin news, and I always thought that Kirk Cousins was their quarterback of the future, but apparently they must have other plans because they're bringing in Alex Smith, who's not exactly John Elway. So I don't really understand that move per se, but I guess people at the Redskins are, have smarter people than me to figure that one out. But don't understand it myself. But maybe it's not for me to understand. And I guess if Alex Smith comes in and lights the world on fire with his performance, then they'll say it's a good move. But from an initial standpoint, it does sound like it's a little bit of a risk, and I don't know. I don't even know the details. I don't know if it was a free agent move or if it's a trade. I didn't get the details on that part of it. I was a Padre fan back in the late 70s and early 80s with Tony Gwynn, and then I became a Oakland fan rather, with Canseco and McGuire. And then when McGuire went to St. Louis, I kind of became a Cardinal fan when Tony Russo went there and everything. But since the Nationals have come on, I've obviously following them because they're on TV all the time around here. So yeah, to answer the question, yes, if I had to pick a team right now, I would say I'm a Nats fan. Not much into hockey. I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not really, don't know the strategies on it and don't know the nuances of it. I will watch it from time to time, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan. But if the game's on, I'll watch it. But so yeah, when we get a little bit overloaded with the Washington teams, 70s Padres teams, they were pretty good. They had Dave Winfield, and later on they had Ozzie Smith. They also had Randy Jones, Gaylord Perry, Raleigh Fingers. They had some good players. They just never really put it together as a team until 1984, when Tony Gwynn came along and they did some free agent moves. I mainly liked them, oddly enough, because I liked their uniforms. Most people thought they were hideous, but I thought they were great, and that's kind of how I decided to pick them. But like I said, when the A's came along with Canseco, McGuire, and all those guys, I kind of followed them. And then when McGuire and LaRusso went to St. Louis, I became a Cardinal fan. And then when the Nats came along, started in the last maybe 3 or 4 years, I started watching them and kind of picking them up since they've been doing well. And so we'll see what happens. Anyway, it's 11:04 here on the East, so I need to get to bed so I can get to work in the morning. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in and following along. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, this is like a little mini league, 17 or 8-team league, and I don't know how. I'm going to play it off and on. I don't know if it's going to be anything real consistent, because I'm also playing, History Maker Baseball. I'm also playing Payoff Pitch, and most recently Inside Pitch has been a new game I've been tinkering around with. So got my plate full with a lot of games, so whatever itch I have that particular day is what I pull out, and that's what I happen to play. So hopefully you guys, if you like Strat, hopefully you like the advanced version, because that's as far as I can go with these cards, because the 86 cards were not made for super advanced. And I kind of like advanced because it doesn't bog things down with all those D20 rolls. So again, appreciate you guys tuning in, and hope you guys enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play on your tabletop. And until next time, I will see you all down the road.